To my right, Coach Flannery. We have junior Sarah Nelson, freshman Marissa Janning, and junior Carly Tritz. Coach, you want to start?
Sure. That game will not be on ESPN Classic later tonight. I thought our defense the first half was really good, and I mean part of it is they did miss some shots that they made in the second half, particularly Napier, who really played well. But the things that we talked about were transition defense on Macklin, which I thought we did a good job of getting back and walling her off with two people, and then not fouling her on her drives to the basket. So that was key. And then defensive rebounding, we gave up 9 offensive boards in the first half to them last weekend, and this weekend today in the first half we gave up 2. So that was key. And then the third thing I thought was our ball screen defense. We trapped them a lot on ball screens. They had a double big lineup a lot in the first half, whereas in the second half they played a lot more 4 guard. But we really bothered them trapping, and consequently I think they went to a smaller lineup in the second half because they were having trouble scoring, and it was effective for them, I thought. But we won the game with our defense in the first half. Second half we weren't as good, and that's a credit to them. But I thought Carly played well, which is good. And we certainly weren't crisp offensively. We'll have to probably be a little better than that. But I really liked what we did defensively in the first half.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Coach. Questions for the students?
Marissa, was shutting down Macklin kind of the defensive focus?
Shutting down Macklin in transition was our main focus, and just not letting her go off like she did yesterday, because transition is what we feel that she's best at and where she can hurt us most. And I feel like Coach Flan said, we did that, and it's just other players like Napier that stepped up and really made good shots.
Sarah, how does the fact that you guys played about a week ago help you guys preparing for this?
It's a good and a bad thing, because although we know what we did wrong at the same time during that game, at the same time they obviously know what they did wrong too, and what they think will be effective against us. And so I thought it helped us though, because we obviously got to play Macklin, and I feel like there's no one in the league that's really like her with the pushing. She can really get up the floor and go through almost everyone on the floor, all 5 people, and really get to the rim. So I think that helped us a lot, being able to play her right away. So kind of knowing how to play her. And then I think what helped us most though is honestly watching that game last night and just seeing how effective she can be and how big of a threat she is. And so I think playing them obviously was helpful. So
Carly, I know it's a weird question with your knee, but having general fresh legs, do you feel like has helped you guys well? Because them playing overtime last night, and them only having 9 players, that had to affect them. So
yeah, I think that could have been a more perfect situation for us, because we have a late game, so we have even more rest. And then both teams into overtime, and we played both of them. So I mean, we were scouting them all week, both teams, and then they both went to overtime. And I don't think they're as deep as we are, so that was also a factor, regardless. And then the fact that they had to play even longer, I just think is only going to benefit us.
This is for any one of you 3. How much better do you guys have to be offensively tomorrow to advance?
I think that we obviously have to be a lot better. I know we missed a lot of shots. I especially rushed some shots even though we were wide open. And I mean, I just think it's credit to our team though. I think that we had Jordan Garrison, I know, really stepped up and hit some big shots. So I think that's everyone on our team can kind of make a shot at a time where we need it. And so I think that as good as we need to be, we definitely have a lot of threats though too. And I think we have a lot of people that are capable of stepping up. So.
Marissa, can you just talk about preparing for this tournament as a freshman, and just how much different of an experience that is opposed to maybe preparing for a tournament at a high school level?
Well, coming from my high school, we never really made it to the state tournament except for 1 year. So I was excited, but really I had no idea what to expect. And I had these two and the rest of my teammates, and to prepare me, they were like, hey, it's 3 games in 3 days. It's a hard grind. You have to be ready. You have to get rest. You have to take care of your body. You have to eat well, which sometimes hard for me, but I feel like they definitely prepared me. And tonight I was nervous just because I didn't really know. It's a different atmosphere, but it's a great atmosphere, and I was really excited, and I'm really excited to keep going in the tournament.
Any added pressure to match the men in repeating as conference champions?
Yeah, well, we like to think every time they lost to someone this season, we lost to the same team right after them, which was kind of annoying. But hopefully we can do the whole winning thing now and win the tournament. So, I mean, there's a little bit of pressure, but at the same time, they're a totally different team. And we just want to represent our school well, just like all the other teams have. So.
Any other questions? Great. Ladies, you can go back to the locker room. Okay, and we'll start with questions for Coach.
Coach, when it was 2-2 early, and then you guys went on a 9-0 run, how key was that for how the first half ended up playing out?
Sure. Well, we talked about that, you know, as Pete mentioned, they were going to be the more tired team, and so we felt like the start was critical just in terms of what their psyche was going to be. The longer they, as the more tired team, the longer you stay in the game, the more belief you're going to have, and so getting some separation early, I thought was good for us in terms of, you know, thinking that we could put a hammer down and probably, you know, also giving them doubt in terms of you know, whether they could win the game. So I think it was big. I mean, I don't know that was huge, but I think it was pretty big because we had said, you know, get on them early, and you know, fatigue becomes a little bit more of an issue sometimes. And I think that's a little bit what happened. I mean, and you know, to their credit, they fought in the second half, but I thought the first half we just kind of held even though we weren't that good offensively, what we did defensively, I thought really frustrated them. I mean, we were definitely better at that end in the first half.
Coach, and even when you were up 20 in the second half, before they made their little run, it looked like you were riding your players a little bit in timeouts and such. What you've mentioned a few things, but what specifically were you just not liking about what you were seeing at that point?
Defensive communication was not anywhere close to what it needed to be. I think sometimes first half our defense is in front of our bench, and second half our defense is in front of their bench. So there's, you know, I just felt like we left the ball numerous times. It just didn't communicate on screens. I mean, you know, we're an experienced team. I mean, you take Marissa out of the equation, and Marissa's played a lot this year, so has been in a lot of game situations. So I thought our defensive communication was not even close to what it was in the first half. And again, part of it was they went with a one-post lineup a majority of the first half and a two-post lineup. And in some ways, I felt like our game plan really fit their two-post lineup in the first half because we trapped all those ball screens and caused them a lot of issues. They ran up against the shot clock a lot, but I wasn't very excited about what we did to, look, they were going to score more than 9 the second half. I don't have any question about that. I mean, part of, teams miss, everybody credits, I'm crediting our defense, but I know it wasn't that good that they should have scored 9, but to go from 9 to 34 isn't, and Napier hit some tough shots, late shot clock and contested shots too. So, but I told them play for tomorrow night. Don't get sloppy. You can't get sloppy. We gotta be sharp. And when juniors are out there not talking defensively, I want to let them know.
In general, other than, like you mentioned, just missing shots at times, do you feel the focus was the level of what you wanted it to be?
For about 25 minutes, I thought it was. But then I thought we let down defensively. I'm fine with the fact that we didn't shoot the ball well, because I know offense is nerves in a conference tournament. I mean, I felt like, we didn't shoot it very well the first half, but we shot it worse the second half. And I'm fine with nerves, playing a role in how you shoot the ball, especially in the first game. I mean, everybody always says, you know, the team that didn't play the night before hasn't had a chance to get the jitters out, and I felt like offensively we were that way a lot. We had people, you know, Allie Jensen didn't, you know, had open shots and didn't shoot the ball. I'm like, Allie, you're a senior and you're a good shooter. You can't do that. And I felt like we had a lot of people that didn't squeeze open shots who are good shooters. So, but I'm okay with that more than I'm okay with what we did in terms of, you know, the letting down defensively in the second half, where we had, like I said, veteran kids who weren't talking the way they were in the first half.
One more.
Any other questions?
Okay, thanks you.
Okay.